Hey YouTube, looking at a viewer submitted battle from well, I'm just gonna say when to avoid butchering that any further. So thank you for the submission. Feraligatr, Florges, and Skeledirge. So I looked at the team. I was like, okay, Feraligatr and Skeledirge are two now the top 15 Pokemon that I do not have for the Master League, so I want to see them in action. That is essentially it. Um, in concept, I think the team makes sense, right? If you just think of like the top 10 to 15 meta, you have Dragons, which you have Florges to deal with. You have Gyarados, which seems to be the kind of trickiest, but again, Florges can kind of deal with Gyarados, and then you can Shadow Claw and Ice Beam with Feraligatr. You have Steels. Your biggest answer for Florges is going to be Metagross, which Skeledirge with the Incinerate plus Feraligatr should be able to deal with. You have Fairies, which you kind of are okay across the board. So I think all in all, these three are pretty strong in this meta. So let's see them in action. So Metagross, again, you'll hit Super Effective with the Claws plus the Hydro Cannons. So I would just spam these Hydros. From a non-Shadow, I still think this will probably do like 50%. I guess we'll find out next time. Because the Claws are routing up, out comes the Gyarados, right? So you have two options here. Your Ice Beam, or you just go straight Florges. So get the Ice Beam off and then go Florges. You could farm a bit here because they don't have, I mean, they have a Dragon Breath, right? So Octales will chip from a Shadow, but you can live another one and just get ahead on energy and come out with like two, like one Disarming Voice to take this out and then one to come out with. So throwing the Disarming Voice here, this will take out. You're almost loaded. They will just farm down, so you will get this off. It'll put it like 50%, which is fine. It's fine chip. You can come either or. You can Incinerate down, or you can Shadow Claw. Yeah, even if it's Meteor Mash, which is resisted, it's still gonna hurt. You would live. So back to back here, you'll live because it is resisted. Put you in like the red though. Yeah. Get the Hydro off on a Togekiss that tries to take you out, and then instant swap should be to Skeledirge here just to take those resisted fairies. I would just, yeah, I guess they're, yeah. I was say, I bet you could just farm down, but then you'd have to take an Ancient Power, and then you're doing super effective with this Incinerate anyway. So Empoleon, spicy. It's a Waterfall Empoleon, not even a Steel Wing Empoleon. Okay. Yeah, I guess you kind of have to stay because Florges and Skeledirge are not going to have a good time with this. So this is probably the, although very random, definitely going to be one of the toughest things that you see here. So I think you kind of just have to stay in, and just get these, just get these Hydros off as many as you can to claw and get this down. You may even want to consider shielding and farming. Yeah. Keeping switch, because Hydro Cannon versus even Dragon, if it comes in, I mean, you have the Ice Beam, but you should be able to hit at least everything. There's your Gyarados. And again, it's nice to get the Florges on this and not Skeledirge. So get the Ice Beam off, just get the Hydro off. Good chip. Enough to put it within Disarming Voice range. And they come into Togekiss, and again, hit them immediately with the Skeledirge. Yeah, I don't mind throwing right away either. Just to, you're going to take it down. You're going to commit the shield. If you're going to commit the shield here, you might just want to Incinerate all the way down. Yeah, I don't love this. If I were them, I'd just let this go, and then I just try and go 2-shield Gyarados with a bunch of Aqua Tails. They're going to take you out here. And now the question is, can you get to 3 Disarming Voices before they get to probably 3 Aqua Tails is the question. So you do charge pretty quickly. So that's good news. Back to back here. You're lucky they're not Shadow, because if they're Shadow, I mean, that would have changed the game. But 3 Aqua Tails from a regular, I'm pretty sure it's like maybe 2 from a Shadow, but once you got both shields, it's win there. Swampert is another good lead. They'll get out into Gyarados, which is everywhere. Yeah, Dragon Breath Gyarados, I think this is just the instant swap, just because Dragon Breath is resisted, Crunch is resisted. They can only go Aqua Tail. It really limits what Gyarados can do here. It does chip, right? That's why Gyarados is safe, because even if you get hit with a Fairy and Dragon Breath is resisted, you can still chip. Get a shield, do lower the attack, which is nice, which means they're going to need to take at least 2 more to take you out here. I mean, I guess they were trying to lower your attack, don't. That was not smart. Like, just throw the Aqua Tail. And this is, when I covered Florges, this is exactly the scenario that I covered, was Moonblast versus Disarming Voice is so tricky, because in a lot of situations, Moonblast does not take out here. So the better move is actually 2 Disarming Voices, because a lot of times you need Moonblast plus Disarming Voice, because Fairy Wind is not going to farm down. So it's kind of, yeah, Florges is an interesting one. Sometimes Moonblast takes out, but the majority of the time you're better off just going double Disarming Voice. Gonna get hit with the Crunch here, that's fine. Going to take this out so that you don't get farmed down. And then just going to rely on Skeledirge in the back. Once you get rid of Gyarados, it's another one. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Again, I should not be surprised there's a bunch of Togekiss, because it was one of the staples of Master League Premier for a very, 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 very long time. This is kind of a tricky one, because your Shadow Claws are resisted, but these Hydros will hurt. And yeah, it's pretty... What is your... Feraligatr at 3230. I don't know, because it didn't have the IVs. Let me just go check to see if I can go check PvPoke. What a level 50 Feraligatr will be at in the Master League. Feraligatr 3230. What did I say yours is at? 3230, is that what I said? Because that's the hundo. I'm just going to backtrack just so I can see what it's at. 3230. Okay, so you have a hundo level 50 Feraligatr. Interesting. Well, 1, congrats. 2, I'm surprised that even with the hundo Feraligatr, Hydro Cannons are not doing that much. Nice catch on the Gyarados. And again, just come instant Florges, assuming that is not Waterfall. I'd say if you're running a Gyarados safe swap, you're most likely running Dragon Breath. Waterfall just like really limits you as a safe swap with Gyarados. Getting off the Moonblast. Again, even with the Hydro Cannon, you'll be able to farm it down from this range, but it's gonna be aggressive, and it's gonna be, you're gonna get chipped here with Aqua Tail. But the Hydro Cannon did enough to actually put it in Hydro Moonblast farm down range. But if they had not, then again you're looking at a maybe better just go double Disarming Voice. Get the Moonblast, take that out. Out comes the Dragonite. Just go Disarming Voice. You don't need to go Moonblast in that range. Just grab shields with Disarming Voice. So you're lucky they're not getting out. This is a tricky one. Hydro Cannon, Ice Beam resisted. Incinerate would kill you though if they got out of this, right? If they could punish you. They could punish you, but they're not getting out. They're throwing resisted Dragon Tails. I did see that the ELO was 2400. Seems that the 2400 people you're playing versus the 2400 people I'm playing are night and day, because the 2400 people I'm playing are kicking my freaking butt with like crazy, like just gameplay, and yours are staying in with the resisted Dragon Tail into a Fairy. So unless they're running like a triple Dragon team, even Rhyperior should just have come in there. Like, I don't know why they're throwing resisted moves. Anyway, so you're up shield. Yeah, obviously this is an easy come in here. Water plus not taking super effective on the and they let this go. Are they going to try and 2 shield whatever's in the back? Could be another Fairy that they just want to try and charm down. But again, if you don't have, well, so there's your Fairy, which you resist everything. And they're out of here with the shield plot. Yeah. Fairies are a tricky one in this one right now. That's why I think when I ran the double fairy line, you have to run one with a waterfall because pure double fairy I don't think works in this current meta. So Hydro Cannon will over 50% despite the claws being resisted. Could be Thunder Punch, could be high horsepower. So good shield. Get a move off this will. Looks like probably take out from this range. So let's see what they decide to do. They decide to take that shield advantage. Glycopod, spicy and tricky for you. You gotta hope. I don't think Ice Beam's the play here. I think Hydro Pump's the play, Hydro Cannon, because it's resisted to, right? The water is going to resist the water is going to resist the ice. You might as well go for the stab, super hard hitting Hydro Cannon as opposed to the non-stab Ice Beam. So yeah, I would throw as many Hydros as you can in this scenario next time, because there's no point of throwing the Ice Beam. Hydros does like just as much of an Ice Beam, but way quicker. So enough to chip. This will get, yeah, Florges is okay for bulk. These are going to come fast though, because this thing is loaded. So back-to-back liquidations. Almost got to hope that they let this go, that you can combo whatever's in the back here. They do not. They're going to try and get one more off. The good news is, if you, I was going to say, if you let this go, you can probably incinerate down, because it is half bug, so that would be neutral. Ooh, Rhyperior in the back. Taken resisted on the incinerates and hitting super effective with the mud slaps. So this will chip, but not anywhere near enough. Oh, this thing is just going to slap you all the way down. Yeah, take you out before you get slapped down. Yeah, your Florges is pretty low, so it's not surprising that they're just taking you out. And how much do they have left on this other Pokemon? I forget. Oh, they haven't moved anyways. So it does not matter. Rockwrecker will take out. Primarina. Charm versus Hydro is important here, and it is Charm. If it was Hydro, you had a chance to chip a bunch with your claws and Hydros. Charm makes this tricky, because Charm's adding up on you, and they're going to get the Disarming Voice fast as well. I mean, not fast, but like, they're going to get to Disarming Voice as well. So you will get a couple of resisted Hydras off, which does chip, but they're just going for the straight farm down and come out with energy. Yeah, that's smart too. Bank that energy, come in Excadrill, which makes me think that this is like a double steel line, and they're going to have Metagross in the back. Well, yeah, double steel line to deal with, I think a steel. Get the full farm down. They have a shield. They're letting the switch clock come up. Machamp, interesting. Machamp into a ghost. Lives one Disarming Voice. They could get the Rock Slide off. They're gonna have to shield this, and then snipe it, or just let it go and come in Florges after. Stone Edge Machamp. Interesting. And unless they have back-to-back Disarming Voices here, Hydro's not going to take out. Yeah, you should be able just to farm down and come out with a move for the win. Dragon Breath. Gyarados again is stay in here. Ice Beam as much as you can, because you cannot get this on Skeledirge, so they gave up 2 shield, which is interesting. Now you get this on the Metagross, which is nice. I would, if I were you, I would shield and try to come out with like 2 moves. I would come out with a little more than that, but You probably could have got like one more Incinerate before you threw the Shadow Ball. Because now you got in the tricky spot for the Gyarados, where if you came out with like at least a little more energy, you could have incinerated already and come out with a move. As opposed to now you're going to hit with a second Aqua Tail. And a third one, right? So in that situation with the Metagross, with the Bullet Seed, Bullet Punch, and you got to watch for the Earthquake, but I think you probably could have farmed up a bit more. Now, Moonblast will take this out, and what's in the back? It's a Dragonite, so it does not matter in the ending. In the Florges matchup, yeah, I would just stay in. Again, if they go Moonblast, Moonblast's not going to take out from this range, so they're going to need 2 Disarming Voices. So I guess a good shield on the Moonblast. A shield, 1 Hydro. Again, I think you'll even live a Moonblast because you're not a Shadow. So you'll live a Moonblast from this range. And again, Moonblast's not going to take you out. This is why I actually had a lot of frustration with Florges. Because a lot of time, like the Moonblast just put you in an awkward spot. Primarina, yeah, you have to stay in. You cannot get what looks like a waterfall Primarina on a Skeledirge here. So, gotta come in Florges. I think it's just Disarming Voice, and you'll live that. Okay. Primarina is using Moonblast, that's fine. Primarina's somewhat classy, so yeah, I don't mind this. Plus you'll get this one off, and that's fine. That's kind of all you need is to chip this enough to take this out. Come in to Incinerate, and it's a Gyarados. And this is, again, one of those, Shadow Ball's not going to take out from this range. So I'm almost wondering if we're better off with 2 Disarming Voices. No, I guess not. I guess this Shadow Ball, even stab, does not do as much to a Gyarados as you would want it to. So you do need to go Shadow Ball, Disarming Voice. Get to Disarming Voice. This should be enough to take it out. I know it's non-stab, but they're in the yellow. So, oh, brutal. You just got hit with maybe a Best Buddy 38-34. Oh, that's brutal. I think you just got hit with like a Best Buddy 1 HP live, get caught in a 5-turn move that can't take you out because 2 Dragon Breath. Like, that was just unlucky. So the 2 Pokemon in this, obviously Skeledirge, when you see as many fairies as you did, Florges and Togekiss and stuff, yes, Skeledirge is great. Otherwise, like lots of losses to Gyarados, and I mean there are steals that you beat too. You did get on a Metagross, but otherwise it's like Gyarados and Dragons and waters and stuff. Did not see any Annihilapes. How do I go against like 20 Annihilapes and you went after like none? And then Feraligatr, although you probably would have wanted to see more Annihilapes because Shadow Claw on the Feraligatr, a Fairy, and then a Shadow Ball Incinerate combo there. And then yeah, Feraligatr, spammy. There is a lot of stuff that just resists everything though. Like, no, that's not true. There is like Primarina and stuff, but most dragons you'll hit super effective with the Ice Beam. Gyarados is neutral with Ice Beam. So it's not a bad Pokemon. It's so funny how they give a Pokemon Shadow Claw and it becomes meta in 3 different leagues. Great League, Ultra League, and Master Premier. Crazy. Anyways, thank you for this mission. Stay tuned this afternoon for my talk on me potentially probably not hitting Legend this season. Like, I'm just really struggling in Great League. I'm going to go over all that this afternoon, so check that out. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.